Hello guys, it's Thomas. We're doing another Beyblade unboxing. This time we have KnightLance. Got this guy very early, surprisingly, but yeah. This is my first time getting a booster in this style because I didn't get the recolors, and I just have to say these booster packages, boxes are very small. But yeah, here it is. You can see the owner is Multi again, so of the 5 mainline bays so far, 3 of them are owned by her, which is pretty interesting actually, but yeah, I'm not opposed to that, so anyway. Opening this up, have, again, everything here, and cut this open. And there's everything. I'll actually go ahead and cut the video just to get all this out so we don't sit here for a while. Alright, now everything's out of the box. So first up you have the instructions and whatever else. So yeah, this is pretty cool. We also have this here. This is the just bag of everything. I didn't actually take them out yet. I want to look at them for the first time on camera. Let's go ahead and take out our first part here, the ratchet, because this is 480. We've already seen this one. This came on Wizard Arrow, so yeah, it looks really cool though. It's a really nice, you know, purple and light blue. The original 4, they had like the colored part here, but this part was just clear on all of them, so I was wondering if like every mainline bay was going to be like that, but I guess not. Already we have a bay that kind of deconfirms that idea. So here is 480. Pretty nice. Let's move on to the bits. We have, if I can get that out, high needle. So high needle, make sure you have regular needle to compare. Although first I will say I like the color. I complained about the colors in my first few unboxings. This is a good color. Nice kind of darker green. And yeah. So this is apparently 1 millimeter taller than regular needle. You can see this part here is taller. This kind of ring-like part. It's 1 millimeter taller, so basically ratchets, of course, we have 2 heights right now, 60 and 80, 60 being 6 millimeters, 80 being 8 millimeters. So this adds an extra millimeter, so depending on what ratchet you use, it's kind of like a, 7 or 9 millimeters, and obviously being an 80 ratchet with this stock combo, it's, 9, so our tallest base so far, which is really cool. Also, the point is much different, actually, if I could keep it in my hand. You just tell this one obviously is more, less pointy. It's just kind of has a larger surface area. Reminds me more of almost like a defense or something from Metal Fight, or even like a survive from Burst, with the design. So yeah, pretty cool to see something like that. So yeah. And last but certainly not least is the blade, which is Knight Shield, and man, that looks really, really nice. I like the color a lot, and yeah, this thing looks really cool. I like the face design. The whole idea of this thing is counter attack, kind of. It's a defense type, but yeah, these parts are meant to deliver counter attacks, so it should be able to help you with that. So obviously if you get hit, it hits hard. Well, hits harder back almost. It's kind of weird, but still pretty cool. This thing has a lot of recoil though, so beware of that. But yeah, it looks really cool. I guess just to kind of compare to Knight Shield, let me put that back together. But compared to Knight Shield, you just see it's very, very similar in some ways, but yeah, both kind of 3-sided defense types. Both use a knight motif. Yeah, this one's also a bit higher up, the actual contact points. There's a little bit more clear plastic under there, but yeah. Really cool. In my discussion, I kind of mentioned not liking this thing as much, but I think I've warmed up to it a bit. There's one issue I have with it. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but yeah. I do like this bay overall, just in terms of design and everything, a lot more than I initially did. And oh yeah, before I put this together, let's actually grab the scale. and check the weight. So 480, 6.89, I mean that's pretty normal. High needle, 2.13, and KnightLance, 33.14. Have I been calling this thing Night Shield the whole time? I really hope I haven't. I hope I've been saying KnightLance, but anyway. Yeah, so, let's go put this together. Alright, there's that, and high needle. There it is. KnightLance 480 high needle. Really cool looking bay. This thing, by the way, in stock is not very good. It's too tall. Well, I don't know. Maybe the height could work on something else, but with this blade, with the recoil and sort of idea of it being this tall, doesn't really help it very much. Maybe on like a normal like needle or ball or something, or even maybe keep high needle but use it on a shorter ratchet. Something like that could work. I don't necessarily think all these parts don't work together in any form. I just think maybe one of them needs to be swapped out. I'm not really someone who battles. This is just kind of my own theory craft from what I've seen. But yeah, just throwing out the idea of for anyone who does want to do testing, this thing isn't good stock. But again, maybe instead of like just completely changing it, maybe just try lowering the height or just changing out a bit or something. I don't know. Or just throw this thing on like taper or something. That could be pretty good. Use it more like an attack type a little bit. I mean, yes, taper is balance, but you know what I mean. Like, get more movement on this thing because again, it does have well, it does have a lot of recoil, but it has a ton of attack power. So definitely could have some use for KnightLance in that regard. But anyway, here's a quick comparison to Night Shield. Very similar in a way, but yeah. I will say, though, again, kind of my one problem with this bay is that it did release so close to Night Shield. This is literally our next bay after, you know, the original 4. I kind of wish we got, like, Shark Edge first, because it's a lot different. But yeah, that's, like, my only complaint, is just kind of the time of release. Also, in the third chapter of the manga, Multi basically says that this is, like, an evolution. I don't know if it meant that this is like her new bay and it's her evolving as a blader, or if she meant this is a literal Night Shield evolution. I hope it's the former, but I don't know for sure on that. If this is an actual evolution Night Shield, I think that's also bad because again, we haven't even had the thing for a month yet. I don't want them to be evolving bays that quickly, so hopefully she just means it's like her new bay. It's kind of based on Night Shield, kind of, but like a new bay. Again, she has like her whole collection, so I hope that's what she meant, but yeah. It's basically just kind of the time of release of this thing is like my biggest problem. But outside of that, just as a bay though, which is the most important part, this thing is very, very cool. Big fan of KnightLance in terms of design. And again, the battling might not be the best, but yeah, it just looks very cool. And again, I'm more of a collector design type of person, so I do like this thing quite a lot. So yeah, there you go. KnightLance 480 high needle. Very, very cool bay overall. I really like the color scheme as well. Light blue, purple, a little bit more purple up here. You know, the kind of darker green-ish color. It's not that green. It's kind of green. Anyway, and I also like the teal under here. Or maybe not teal, like turquoise. Just a very cool bay. I don't know why I'm mixing up my colors so much here, but yeah. Very, very cool bay. And yeah, that's all for KnightLance though. Nothing too crazy again with these bays, just isn't as much for me to talk about. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.